And welcome back to part 4 of the soccer quiz. So it's the same procedure as every year, and let's look at the next problem. So now after all this defending, we're on the attack again. And this is one of the situations that happens rather frequently when the attack has gone to one of the wings, or has commenced over one of the wings. So what happened is there was like a pass down to the wing, or this player just took the ball and ran kind of down the wing, and now is in this upper corner of the pitch. And how usually how the opposing team will react is they will get a lot of players close to their own goal. So they would kind of stand all in front of their goal. And we're also assuming for this case that your own teammates did the same, so which also is not unrealistic. They also ran right in front of goal. Kind of, you have like teammate in here and maybe another one in here. So you have a lot of teammates in here. And then you also have, let's say, the last defender, who also is cautiously joining the attack and is standing kind of in the middle of the opposing half. And so your decision now is, where do you shoot the ball? Where do you pass the ball? Do you kind of try to give it, sharply shoot it in here and kind of hope that somebody gets something on it and just, ricochets into the goal? Or do you rather pull it back? And if you pull it back, do you pull it back right at your player? Or do you kind of pull it back in front of your player? Which one is the best option? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. This option is this situation is relatively frequent, and you will very often see players just kind of smash it towards the goal, and not even look back. If they have any other options, they would just run down the line and then they will smash the ball kind of to A, or kind of anywhere close to the goal. And that is often that's okay. That's an okay thing to do. But there are two different drawbacks to this. And the first one is that the opposing side is prepared for that. That is what all the opponents are prepared for. That they have basically packed their own penalty area, so it's very likely that one of the defenders can block the ball, or even if it ricochets around, one of the defenders can kick it out. And also the goalkeeper will probably be standing kind of in this position, so it's really hard and really unlikely that you get the ball past, let's say, the goalkeeper or the first defender even, so one of your players can actually get a touch. So it is what is often chosen, but I'd argue if you have a better option, namely that you can pull it back, the pullback is almost always better. And so the first reason is that it's unlikely to succeed, and the second reason is turnovers. And that is a topic that most players very rarely think about when they're attacking. That there's two goals to an attack. The first goal is to shoot a goal, obviously, and to get yourself, in order to do that, to get yourself into a position where it's really likely to shoot a goal. But then again, there's also a second objective, and that is what most players they totally forget about it. You have to, if you lose the ball when you're attacking, you have to lose it in a position where your opponent doesn't get a strong counterattack. Because in football, the ball is always changing sides. After every attack, the other team has the ball. So one of the big reasons, or one of the big goals, even while you're attacking, has to be, if you turn over the ball, you should turn it over in a situation where your opponents don't have a good counterattack, because otherwise, an attack will not be good for you. If you're going for an attack that's very risky, and where you will often lose the ball in a situation where your opponent has a good counterattack, you will lose games. And this is one of the situations where you are likely to give the opponent a good counter-attack. And the reason for that is that all your players, they packed into the penalty box. So they have a really hard time getting back to your own half if the ball goes in and then maybe it ricochets out like this. And then the opposing team, they will rush forward, and there will be one defender right here who's in the way basically of the opposing team. There's so much space in between. Maybe this player rushes out, kind of shoots the ball into this general area. Somebody else of the opposing team, some other player, will rush into this space, and suddenly you are in a very dangerous break situation for the opponents. And that is very likely to happen because all your first of all, it's very likely that you lose the ball, and if you lose the ball, you are not in a good defensive position, and that makes A even worse. So what usually is the better option is to pull back the ball, because not only is the opposing team not defending against this as properly, but also if you pull if you pull the ball back and this player shoots on goal, there's a much smaller chance for a turnover. Or if actually, well, there will almost always be a turnover, but that turnover will be a goal kick. Let's say the ball just ricochets out, and then the turnover will be a goal kick, which you're really well prepared. You have enough time for your team to get back and to defend properly again. Or so from this position, most of the time you will shoot a goal or you will create a goal kick. Maybe sometimes you even get a corner, but yeah, let's just talk about the turnovers. So even if you turn over the ball from this situation, it won't be a dangerous counterattack. So yeah, the chance is better that you will get from here, and the turnovers will be less worse. So almost always a pullover should be preferred, and of course it's better to pass into the area B in front of your player, because this player will try to run onto the ball. Oops. And so if you pass it right at him, it will be a really awkward shot. It's much better if the player just runs onto the same spot where the ball will be in a second and then just smashes it. Okay, so now we're back on the attack again. This time it's a controlled attack, so it's not a fast breaking situation. We assume that there are more defenders in their own part of the pitch, in their own half of the pitch. So what we're actually trying to do now as a team, we're trying to attack in a controlled way, try to pass the ball forward in a controlled way. And you are the player at the edge of your own penalty box, and you decide to start off your attack by passing the ball to one of these players in the midfield. And yeah, for obvious reasons, these two passes are the same because they're symmetrical, so they're both option A. Or you could pass to your central player, which is denoted by option B. So which one is better? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Again, our guiding principle here is centrality. So option B is better than both the options on the wings. And we had this principle of centrality before. We had it in front of goal, and in front of goal we want to be central because we have a better shooting angle when we're central. We also want to be central in the midfield, but for a different reason. And the reason why we want to be central in the middle of the pitch is because it gives us more attacking options. And more attacking options means that we give the opponent a harder time to defend, because they have to defend against more options. And so this pass when we have equal passes, we should prefer the pass to the more central player. We'll try to see exactly why in this situation. Let's say we pass the ball to this player now, and now the problem is, once we pass the ball to the wing, we already limit the options that we can continue the attack. We could now continue the attack down the wing, or we could kind of try to give the ball back to the center, which is two options. But now we have two defenders, so they could try to defend against this. This defender right here, he could walk there, and then this defender, he could come over here. And suddenly, with two defenders, the opposing team has defended an attack of 3 players. And yeah, this player doesn't have many options here. Probably the only good option here is then just to pass it back again. And now compare this to the situation when we pass it to the central player. Now it's much harder to defend, because now the attack can go into 3 directions. It can go central, it can go out to the left wing, or it can go out to the right wing, or the other way around. And it's now much harder to defend, because if one of the defenders tries to come up to attack or to block this middle player with the ball, he leaves a lot of space where he just came from, and so the attack will just go into the direction where the defender came from. And of course, for symmetrical reasons, on the other side.